I feel like we're at an impasse and everything is coming to fruition. Initially, I came on here a month ago, weeks ago, and said there's just no way the Raiders will trade for Justin Fields. And my logic at the time felt sound. And the logic was that, well, he cannot throw the football. So why would you want a quarterback, whose primary goal is to throw the ball to open receivers? Why would you want one who can't throw it? And I thought we were in position to, make a move, to trade up. And we still might be. But, smoke, fire, all that good stuff. And reports coming out saying we're interested in Fields. And there's another report a few moments later that says it's going to take a second and a fourth. There's an asking price, and we're one of the teams that have asked. And then reports come out and say that we're aggressively trying to look for our new quarterback. But that doesn't mean the draft, because although I said it's not going to be as easy as these experts say to trade up, or it's not going to be as hard, everyone's telling me it's going to be impossible to trade up. That these teams that are drafting in the top three are not going to trade back unless the Patriots somehow go, we want Justin Fields. And then there's the Luke Getsy of it all. That was really the reason I thought there's no way we would trade for Justin Fields. The logic being, he just did that, and it didn't really go perfectly, and he wants to show what he can do when he's got an Aaron Rodgers type. The last time he was coaching in a system where there was a quarterback who could throw the football. And there were some people that said the reason that the Raiders got Getsy was to pair him with Justin Fields. And some people said that there's no way they're going to get Justin Fields because of Getsy and blah, blah, blah. But if you remember, they weren't going to get Getsy at first. They were going to get Kingsbury. So did Kingsbury say, I can work with Justin Fields? I can make this happen. And then they brought Getsy in, and he was like, sure, I could do it. I already did it. We didn't have any weapons. We only had DJ Moore. Now you guys got weapons. I could take Justin Fields and turn him into a really good quarterback. There's a lot to unravel. I'm going to get into what I think we should do and what I think we're going to do and what I think is going to happen. Before we get into all that, you need to comment right now. Do you want Justin Fields? Are we going to trade for Justin Fields? What would you give up for Justin Fields? Is he a good quarterback? I lost count of numbers. What do we do here? Is it going to happen? Drop likes, drop comments. Here's my take. I stand by what I said. He struggles to throw the football. My thing with running quarterbacks is, and I've said this in videos that I just made, I'm afraid that their first option is to run away, which means that they're either going to prove that they don't have to do that and they're not going to run enough, or they're going to run too much. There's never a happy medium with running quarterbacks. It's just they do it a lot, or they never do when they're supposed to. They get hurt a lot, blah, blah, blah. Can he be Michael Vick or Lamar? Maybe he could be, and that would be the difference. That would be the reason you will get somebody like him, because he can transcend his flaws. And maybe with weapons around him, you can convince me that it's worth a second and a fourth. And maybe another thing to consider, and this might go into the column of why we think it might happen, is because Tom Telesco, listen, his legacy is going to be tied to who he drafts at quarterback position if we trade up. Because we're not going to have a bunch of first-round picks for him to use if we trade up to go get somebody. Those picks are going to be gone. So he's not going to be able to make a big impact in the first or second round over the next few years if he trades up to one of the top three spots. Does Tom Telesco want to immediately tie himself and Antonio Pierce and Luke Getsy and Mark Davis to a boom or bust prospect and not be able to show that he can make big-time draft picks with those other picks because they will be gone? Is that something that Tom Telesco is willing to do? We're going to talk about that in another video that's going to come out in a few days. It might already be up on Patreon. Also, the Madden videos are going up on Patreon right now. Week 3, I played the Saints. Derek Carr's return. It's up on Patreon. Before the draft, we're going to get a video of all of those videos tied into one. So you'll see that eventually for free on YouTube. But if you want to see it right now, it's on Patreon. If not, it'll be on a couple months. I don't want to trade for Justin Fields, just flat out. And listen, I've said this before. If we end up doing something, I'm not going to sit here and say that I know more than the people who are getting paid millions of dollars to do those things and to make those decisions. He'll be my quarterback, and he'll be my ride or die, and I'll be rooting for this guy, and I'll be wearing the jersey and blah, blah, blah. I'm going to just say out loud right now for the viewing audience who I think values my opinion and I value yours too. That's why I want you to comment. I do not want him. He is not my first option. I'd rather Kirk Cousins because you don't have to give up any draft picks for Kirk Cousins. If we trade up, I'll be fine with that too. But I do not want Justin Fields. However, there is no denying that if he went to the Raiders, he would have more success than if he stayed on the Chicago Bears. Number one, because he's growing and learning and getting stronger and maturing and getting smarter, right? Another reason is he would be in the same system with Luke Getsy. You wouldn't have to learn a new offense, which is rare for somebody changing teams. You'd have to learn chemistry with Devontae and Trey Tucker and Michael Mayer and Josh Jacobs and all those guys, right? But those are weapons now. He didn't have much in Chicago. He had David Montgomery for a little bit, and he had DJ Moore, who's good, but he's not a number one on a championship team. Now, all of a sudden, you roll up in Vegas, and we got weapons, and we might score some points. The problem is when you got to go toe-to-toe against Patrick Mahomes, you're going to need someone who's going to be able to outduel him with his arm because the Chiefs are going to do everything in their power to stop him from running the football. And that's where the likelihood of this all comes in. People are saying that we're interested, but Vic Tafur of The Athletic, I believe, our guy Vic, said it's highly unlikely that we're going to trade for him because of the Luke Getsy situation. In his article, which you can find if you just Google Justin Fields Raiders, it'll come right up. Vic Tafur, The Athletic. Check out the article. He said the Raiders signing Luke Getsy to be their offensive coordinator showed all you need to know in terms of who the Raiders blame for the shortcomings of the Chicago Bears offense. And that seems to mean they are blaming Justin Fields. Or at least that's what the film has told them, and that's maybe what Luke Getsy said. I'm not saying that's what he said. I'm just assuming maybe, hey, well, Luke Getsy, why didn't the offense work? Well, Justin, we did all he could. We maximized his ability. He had the best year of his career when he played, and he was healthy, but he still couldn't get it done when the lights shine brightest, and he had to make a good football play. So I do not know if it's likely. I would say it's under 50%. I would say it's around the 15 to 25% chance that we do trade for him. He might be a plan C, D, or E. Plan A being trade up, plan B being Kirk Cousins, plan C being, I don't know, draft somebody in the second round, Aiden O'Connell. It's a lot to consider, and it's an exciting time to be a Raider fan when you're in the midst of a position where you need to get a new quarterback, and there are some decent ones available. It just comes down to Telesco and AP wanting to trade up. Do they believe in their ability to scout the right guys? Has Jaden Daniels already incepted himself into the mind of Antonio Pierce and Tom Telesco? Does Antonio Pierce believe he can get the best of Jaden Daniels? Because if that's the case, they'll trade every pick to go up and get him. Because that's the guy they think they can go head-to-head with Patrick Mahomes, which is what this comes down to. It's tough to go out there and chase Michael Jordan, but what else are you going to do? He's in the division. He's going to be here for the next, 10 years? You got to find your guy. And if you think it's Justin Fields, then at least you have your first-round picks for the next few years to draft a quarterback if it doesn't work out, or to draft some more linemen and running backs and wide receivers to help out the guy to maximize his potential. Or do you believe in your ability to go out and get your guy, to trade up? It's all things we got to talk about, man, and it's all things on the table. Are the Raiders going to trade for Justin Fields? My answer to you is it's unlikely, but it's not out of the realm of possibility. I think that Justin Fields starting next year for the Raiders is probably just as likely as Aiden O'Connell starting next year for the Raiders. I don't think it's going to happen, but would I be shocked to see him run out of the tunnel or Aiden O'Connell run out of the tunnel as a starter? No, I would not be. I would not be. Would you be shocked? Comments, likes, subscribes, do all the things. We hit 5,000. Let's get this 6. Let's get this 7. Let's freaking grow this thing. If you want to support the channel further and have the means to, check out the Patreon. Patreon.com/ALLaBorde Raiders. It's a website that I do to give you guys more stuff, like early access to videos, ad-free content. You get your name at the end of the credits. Executive producers, like these people right here. It's a small fee a month. You could try for a little bit, cancel if you don't want to. If you don't have the means, don't even think twice. You're doing enough by watching the video and giving it likes and comments. Please be sure to subscribe. That is free after all, no charge to you. I love you guys, and I will see you next time.